spool. I'm not allowed on it because I'm not allowed on anything, but I had one briefly. It's not a big deal, but you can make rooms in there. And so some of these prior shooters have been groomed by federal agents on these apps. Yeah, do it. Yeah. And they do it for the infamy. They leave little cards. Crooks, I'm saying his name as everybody knows. The guy that shot Donald Trump and Corey looked up a previous shooter who actually didn't die. They usually kill themselves or get killed by cops. He actually got arrested, and so did his parents. So that's one of the things he looked up. He looked up a previous mass shooter. And they're all saying, we don't know his motivation. We don't know if it was political. I'm like, I can tell you his motivation. If he's looking up prior mass shooters. This is a 20-year-old loser who looked like he was 13 even when he graduated high school. I'm sorry, but he was, he was not a pretty man. He fell out of the ugly tree and he hit every branch on the way down. Let's put it that way. He looked like just an insipid, androgynous dork. He went to community college and graduates and gets a job washing dishes at a nursing home at 20 years old. Definitely never had a girlfriend. Probably didn't have much way friends. He hates his life. That is exactly who the feds are going to hone in on and go, he'll do it. And it takes a little encouragement. And maybe they wised up and say, let's not do this electronically, because that's how we got caught in the past. We'll meet up. We'll encourage him. Maybe even trained him. He'd go in the rifle range. He knew what to do. He knew where to go. He just didn't know to wear a long sleeve shirt. The roof was white, but I don't care. It's July. It was metal. I bet it was hot. And you can see him getting up like that. I hope you had a lot of pain because you killed an innocent person and you shot a couple of there. The other two people, I'm happy to say, are recovering who he hit. It could have been worse. He could have killed kids. He could have killed the president, which would have started a civil war. And this is what brings me to the greater plot. I think, and I am not alone, Biden was on his way out. Like they already decided after that debate, say he has COVID, which is poetic, something. Have him write a letter or write it for him, sign it for him, AI's voice, whatever you got to do. Get rid of him. Kamala's in. She's our girl. They were going to get rid of Biden and Trump. And they wanted to blow his head off on TV. And it gets real sinister. It didn't work. And now they're getting grilled. And they basically nearly assured Trump not only wins, but MAGA Republicans are going to win seats. Whoever he's the kingmaker. You get to Congress, you get to be governor, you get to do this, because it's not going to be these Republican AIPAC shills, whatever. It's going to be the MAGA AIPAC shills who are better on certain issues. I don't know if I can say what they are, but the thing, the other war in the North, right? Like that one. Trump doesn't want to do it. This is the one Kamala said is the bigger country, and the one next to it is the smaller country. She just says stuff like the bus goes that way and then it goes this way. And she will get asked a question. She will say a sentence. 5 different ways of saying the same thing, total non-answer, and then start cackling like a hyena. Now, I know there was a poll in like Rutgers or something that said, oh, look, she's up by 2 points. Then you go in the article and read. It goes, an online poll that asked 1,200 people. I could do that on Twitter. That's not a real poll. Whatever. She is totally unelectable, but she couldn't win a primary. So they had Biden already win the primary and then abdicate to her. She couldn't even win her home state. And it really does show how unimportant the president and vice president are, because he's been out of it for years. Just give him an ice cream cone, tell him to walk that way, whatever. He's shaking hands with invisible people. Like maybe it was John Cena. No one can see him. I don't know. He starts walking the wrong way off the stage. One time he just started walking off in a field. I'm like, let him go. Let's see what happens. See where he goes. If you kind of like how long it'll take him. It's elderly abuse, really. And then Kamala's just she can't. She's so hateable, worse than Hillary. I don't know. She's bad. She's so bad. And these they're not making decisions. So who has been running the government? Anthony Blinken and company. That's as close as I can say on YouTube. That's who's been running the government. Of course, they're having, I can't say that either, a big war right above Egypt. You know what I mean? Of course, they're removing those people. Man, I miss Rumble. I was pumping the brakes there, but of course that's in motion. And then they read my mind. Like, this is what they want to continue. And you've got the leader of that place speaking to Congress this evening, U.S. time, like within hours. He'll be there getting standing ovations from both parties, just talking about bulls and babies or whatever he wants to do. It's coming. But it was supposed to be timed so that Trump's dead, the RNC's in a panic, the donor class picks some shill like Nikki Haley, and then Biden's out, and then run her against Kamala. Nikki becomes president. That's how it was supposed to go. Miss me, Trump's like, ha. It's like, it messed them up so bad. And boy, the retribution is just, I thought after they went after his kids, they went after his business. They said he raped somebody in Macy's. You did the porn star. I'm better at golf than you are. It's just so dumb and asinine. But he was already going to get retribution. Now you try to shoot him. I think he knows that it wasn't just Thomas Crooks. He knows. Christopher Wray's gone. That's the head of the FBI. All these people are out. And Trump needs to put some gangsters in there. And he needs to get out of that war in the North. He needs to, I can't even say, but because it's YouTube, but there's some changes that need to be made, but he needs to weaponize the FBI the way the Democrats did and go after these criminals. And I actually have a movie. It's free. Corn Pop's Revenge. We call it the Biden Crime Syndicate. I literally made a map of it, of all their business partners in China and Ukraine and everything else, that details what Chris Hines and Devin Archer and Hunter Biden and all the Bidens, all of them, his brothers, everybody, his kids, and of course the big guy. They should prosecute all of them on those crimes. Pelosi, all of the best insider trader the world has ever seen. She's a stock market genius. Like, they all need to get hammered. And I know the Republicans do some things like that too, but I don't care. I will take, I take it as a W that they start weaponizing the FBI and going after each other rather than colluding so they both act like criminals. People are like, the politicians should not do that, where they should be above that. What are you talking about? Absolutely, they should. If they're breaking the law, you arrest them. Now, you shouldn't play party nepotism where you only arrest the opposite party, but I would rather have that than nobody gets arrested from either party. Wouldn't you? Like, just take it as half of a win. And then they'll try to get revenge when they get power. That causes them to not act that way, because there's finally going to be consequences. When you have this gentleman's agreement that we're not going after you, you don't go after us, that's the worst scenario. And they already went after him. And so if they don't shoot him, or if something doesn't happen and he makes it to November, well, he really has to make it to January to get inaugurated. He could come in swinging. And he's outlined what he wants to do. But I am worried about how bad Donald Trump is at picking people. Because last time he had all these ideas and he just surrounded himself with people who hate his guts. And it was way too late when he figured it out. But if you recall, when he was a lame duck president, that means you lose the race in November, but you don't change until January. So that time in between is called lame duck. is when he gets rid of Bolton, he gets rid of Esper, he gets rid of these neocons. He brought in people like Colonel Doug McGregor, which I'd love to see him in the new Trump administration. Like if he picks people like that, okay, then it's not the same old. It will be. It's not everything I want. I know he's a Zionist, and I know. Trust me, I know. But he's so much better than the swamp creatures that are there now. The bureaucrats will say the donor class is totally running the show right now. Biden's vacant, and Kamala is, there's only one thing she's good at. We'll just bob her head to that now. She was Montel Williams' side piece, and now she's the vice president, and she's running for. They're going to endorse her. She got the Clinton and Biden endorsement, not Obama yet, and they are going to Chicago, which is his territory, and she gets to pick VP. Imagine if she picked Big Mike, and you got Kamala, Michelle Obama, which means Barack Obama. It could get very interesting this August, and I've got to say, American elections are so much more entertaining than the rest of the world's anywhere. We have shootings. We have the guy, the old man dropping out. It's just crazy. And it's something new. And then, the leader of the Secret Service just resigning, and they're getting grilled because, they did it. All these court cases, Supreme Court coming in, throwing it out. It's just been, did it. It's kind of exciting. I tried to follow the British elections with Starmer, and it's just okay. The conservatives got grilled. They're essentially their clones got in power. Nothing's going to change. Immigration's going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. Boring. Come on, guys. Blow some boats out of the water. Do something. That's a joke. To be clear. Yeah. I wonder what they're asking. I want to save time to address them.
Oh, yeah. We've got 23 comments for you to address, but I've got some things I'd like to say about what you've just said then. So you said that, he stood up and he still could have got shot.
Well, he arced up. Like he was laying down and he arced up like that. Yeah, with his back.
If there had been an extra shooter, the extra shooter wouldn't have shot Trump after the assassin was dead, because then it would have been too obvious.
Well, if your goal is to, what do they care if they know there's two shooters? They're two shooters. But yeah, he would have to know exactly, because he's dead, and then dies. How do you know he's dead unless you're right next to him? It'd be something. It seems like you would have redundancy, but I think they had full confidence at 150 yards with somebody who's been practicing ought to be able to shoot him. He was so arrogant, he tried to shoot him in the head instead of aiming center mass. That's all he had to do. If he had aimed, Trump's kind of big. He's like 6'4". He's old. He's kind of fat. Shoot him anywhere you hit him. He's dead. He's too old to survive that. But no. And there wasn't a lot of other places for the second shooter to be. Now you could have the police could do it. They could actually be in the window behind him and lie about where they were, and they could take a shot. Thing is, and they all missed. And the other thing is, we have the forensic evidence of